Well, hey guys, what is going on out there today? Good morning. Good morning. Brent Abel here at webtennis.com. Yeah, baby. Another gorgeous day on tap here in the California desert, Southern California. Rancho Mirage right next door to Palm Springs, the Mission Hills Country Club. Got another fun workout this morning scheduled on the grass with the Big O. And always kind of love our workout sessions, crack a great sweat. And gives me, time to work on some stuff. And today, I've got a message for you that I really want you to consider because I think it can help you in terms of getting that thing that we love, that great feeling of swing freedom. So look, guys, before we get into today's topic, a quick reminder, I've got a free course for you. It's a 20-minute online video course training that's going to help you if you are struggling with your topspin second serve. Specifically, if you're throwing in way too many double faults, or if you're getting the second serve in, but it's just sitting up there and letting your opponent, that returner, just take charge, whether it's singles and or doubles. Yeah, allowing them to take charge right at the start of the point. We don't want that. So what the big solution is really, how do you get more natural swing speed to be able to get power, but to be able to impart, to generate that kind of upspin, the topspin that you want, that does a couple of great things. Number one, it gives it a higher margin of safety over the top of the net. But number two, look, it also has a nice bounce out of the box over there. It doesn't sit up. So there's a couple of things that we got to get organized with. Number one is going to be, where do you want to actually place the toss? Number two is, what's the finish of the tossing motion, right? So toss placement and then the finish of the tossing motion, obviously crucial. And then what's your body alignment at contact to be able to impart that spin? Those are really the three most important parts of a really good. Look, grip is part of it, and grip tension is part of it. But really, there's three things that you got to get organized with, and I want to help you do that if your topspin second serve's not behaving. All right, the link to get that free course is right down below in the description area. Just click that link and you will get access to that topspin second serve course. Guys, today, what I want to talk to you about is something, we all have epiphanies along the way, right? As we play the game and learn the game, and I don't care how long you've been in the game of tennis. Like my good friend in Naples, Florida, Phil Landauer, and I think all the top senior guys, they're always tinkering. They're always looking, what's one more little thing that I could get a little bit better at? And, I think that one of the things is consistency. Is the more you can eliminate unforced errors. What is that technique? Hey, Rich, good morning, Lefty. How you doing up there in Alameda? How do we eliminate unforced errors? And that's one thing that can make you a better player in terms of winning more points, winning more games, winning more sets, winning more matches, winning more tournaments, right? So anyway, the epiphany I had, and this was a long time ago. This was actually back in 1976, and I was working at the Royal Biscayne Hotel in Key Biscayne, Florida, for Donna Floyd Fales and Andy Garcia. And I had just a great job, right? It was, I was a teaching pro, had a great little kind of attached apartment to a house, a little studio apartment. And man, I got to tell you, in the winter in Key Biscayne, there were some days where I'm going, this must be like the most ideal tennis weather in the world. A little bit of humidity, 82 degrees. Man, it was just spectacular. The summers were a little rough. But anyway, I'm getting off topic real quick here. But one day, and I can't remember how this happened, but a few hotels down the road, down the way, was the Key Biscayne Hotel, and they had a couple of tennis courts there. And I just heard that Jaime Fiol, the great player from Chile, was working out. I think it was with Cliff Drysdale, as memory serves. Anyway, so I just kind of went on down there. I just wanted to see what was going on. And Owen, I'll get to your magic fix in just a second. But I'm sitting there and I'm outside the fence and I'm looking at Jaime, and I'm not looking at his hitting partner, which I think was Cliff Drysdale, but I'm just watching Jaime feel. And I'm there at the baseline, right? I'm there right looking right down the baseline. And I'm watching this guy hit forehands and backhands. And yes, those were the days when there was a little bit more of a linear swing through the ball, out through the ball. But I think still today, if you really do slow-mo, stop frame by frame video on a lot of the great forehands and backhands, what you'll discover is, yes, they're actually not coming up to the ball at contact and then coming off of it with a windshield or something like this, right? They're going out through the ball. And so anyway, I'm looking at this thing, and I'm looking at this guy hitting balls. I'm just thinking to myself, gosh dang it, I don't think he actually considers or is concerned or is worried about that baseline on the other side of the net. It's like it's not an obstacle for him. Certainly he's thinking about, well, there's a net. I got to hit the ball over the net, and I got to keep it inside the confines of the two sidelines over there. But in terms of a baseline, I just never had the sense that he felt like that's an obstacle. That's a problem. So he kind of eliminated one of his obstacles. We got the net, we got the sidelines, and we got the baseline. He'd now taken out a third of it, and it was just down to primarily just the net. I got to hit this next ball over the net, as if he was on a backboard. We've talked about this before, right? When you're on the backboard of the wall, all you're thinking about is hitting the ball over the top of that line. You're not thinking about a baseline, right? And sometimes I've seen backboards with little kind of sideline markers. But so look, I want you to think about today, next time, and hopefully it's today, when you go out there, is try not to worry about the baseline, about keeping it inside the baseline. And when you do that, I think what you're going to feel is some swing freedom out towards your target. And if your target's a corner, if your target's, right back down the middle, wherever it is, all you really need to be doing to create that swing freedom out towards the target is just think about two things. Number one, sense your grip tension. Are you actually a little bit too tight on that grip? Because, and I think, I got no way to prove it because I've got no data on this, but I do think that we squeeze the racket sometimes too tightly as a way to keep the ball inside the baseline. As opposed to relaxing your grip tension and getting a little bit more racket speed, right? I mean, what does racket speed do for us? Well, obviously we get more power, but if you've got the right swing plane is going to be either at contact, it's either high to low or low to high, depending on what kind of spin you want to put in the ball, but you hit a higher quality spin. Let's take topspin, for example. When you swing forward and just think about a spot over the top of the net as your target and you relax your grip, you actually produce a tighter spin. What's a tighter spin do? It wants to bring the ball back down. So I want you to be thinking about this next time you're on the court, is that let's see if we can get the baseline over there out of your mind and just think about a target in terms of a spot over the top of the net. When we think about, and I've been on this rant for a long time, which is if you think about your target as a spot over there on the court, well, now you're saying, well, and look, if you're back in the baseline, you can see that spot through the net. That kind of messes you up a little bit, right? You're seeing your target through an obstacle. Right. So, but it's somehow you got to go, well, yeah, but I got to hit the ball over the net. Yeah, but I want to keep it inside that baseline over there. Let's just wipe out the baseline from our consideration of our shot and just think a spot over the top of the net and get some swing freedom by relaxing your grip. And I think what you're going to find is you're going to hit a much higher quality ball. Do not think about higher quality balls in terms of result, which is, well, this is either going to be a winner or maybe it's coming back, or I hope it's a winner, or I hope it doesn't come back. man, that's where you start to get too grippy on the racket. That's where you start to want to get off the ball because that baseline over there. So, Owen, to answer your question, unforced errors, what's the magic fix? God, man, if I had the answer to that one, I mean, I could charge everybody a gazillion bucks for that, right? You've got to discover for yourself what's your own unique magic fix. And for me, it's a couple of things. Number one, it's relaxing grip pressure. And yesterday, when we were playing yesterday, all I was thinking about, and we've talked about this lately, I know Tony Dawson's mentioned it recently, is right before contact is seeing the ball, is really making visual contact with the incoming tennis ball right before contact. Well, for me, the way that I do that, and this is what I worked on yesterday and ought to keep doing it again today, is I like to have a little exhale, a little, breath that goes out right at the moment of contact, whether it's I'm looking up in the serve, whether I'm looking up in the overhead, whether I am playing a standard rally ball. All I'm thinking about is I want to time my specifically with contact. And what that does for me is it really kind of gets me out of the result thinking, and it lets my instincts take over. And so unforced errors, I think unforced errors are basically result oriented. I mean, yeah, sometimes we have some technique issues that need to be cleaned up, but assuming that on all your strokes, basically your technique is good enough, well, it really comes back to, what's the result? What's the point ending result that you want with this shot? And I think too often when you think I want to hit a winner up the line, and look, I mean, how often do we hit a big dinger up the line and we go, yeah, come on, baby. And now we think that's our standard. We think that we should be able to do that every time. It's kind of a weird thought, right? If we can do it once, why can't we do it over and over and over again? Well, I think because we get into, we just get into result thinking. Well, I just won that point with an outright winner in your face, man. Okay. I just think that's stinking thinking, man. I think you really got to get into thinking much more about allowing your instincts to take over and get back to what I'm talking about today. Relax your grip tension, relax your grip pressure, and get into some kind of a timing thing, right? Where you've got real visual clarity with the tennis ball right before you hit it. And for me, the way I do that is I try to really make sure I've got an exhale right at the moment of contact. So there you go. So Rich is, I am constantly thinking of getting under the ball to clear the net. Good, man. I mean, yeah, that's really a great thought of getting under the ball. Now, if you're going to hit a slice, I don't think too much about, I mean, for me, I think more about getting around the corner of the ball. So if I'm thinking about a backhand slice, I'm thinking more being a right-handed player. I'm thinking more that, the face of a clock around 9 o'clock, right? I'm just trying to contain the ball out there, right? Maybe if I'm going with a forehand topper or a backhand topper, I'm thinking maybe not so much 6 o'clock, but if I've got a forehand, I'm probably more around 4:28. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4:30 in there. I want to always contain the ball. I want to get around the outside corner of the ball. And again, just the message today is less about that, it's much more about get out there and check your grip tension and see how tight you are in the grip, right? And if you're too tight, then tinker with, well, what's too tight? What's too loose? And what's just about right that you create that high quality spin that you want. The big O, I so agree. Seeing the ball at contact is critical and requires that I concentrate on that on every shot instead of getting ahead of myself. Yeah. I mean, and I think you're right at that point, Owen. I think you're right at that threshold where your game is waiting for you to do what you just said. And when you do that, you're going to become such a more consistent shot maker. You don't need more power. I know you love to hit the big dinger, but you don't need more power. You need to get into that thing where 75% of the power that you could generate, if you hit that thing 98% of the time, wow. I mean, clear out that age group. The big O is coming for you. But anyway, Joe, let's see. Joe's got, breath out as you hit the ball. I have a tendency to do the opposite. Thanks for the reminder. I breathe properly when lifting weights. Good. Yeah. Here's the other thing too, is I think and I've noticed myself doing this sometimes. Some people, with the grunt, right, is they like to sort of have a grunt and at contact. And yet sometimes the grunt can be it can be tensing rather than a whoosh as you go out. I've seen more on Fed. Boy, we are way over today. 16 minutes. All right. Well, there you have it. I've got some verbal freedom, some talking freedom today. But I've seen more with Fed recently where they kind of show the slow motion, like the repeat of the shot he just hit. I've seen a lot more of him kind of, and you can see it sometimes when a player's kind of cheeks kind of puff up, where they're just exhaling, and like Joe mentioned with weightlifting, I'm sure that Owen, who does a lot of weightlifting, would also say the same thing, is that you sort of get more power, you get more strength when you do the opposite of tensing, is you exhale. And so I would try that today, guys, or next time you're on the court. Rich, love the outside of the ball concept. It's a matter of defining your actual concentration to a specific spot on the ball. Yeah, I mean, we got to be careful that we don't get too much tension visually, right? That we're not just squinting to really see the gosh darn tennis ball, right? Because if you bring too much tension into your eyes, then you bring tension in your face. It works all the way through your body and it gets into your grip tension. So try these two things. Be aware of how tight you are in the grip. And then let's just see if you can start exhaling at the exact moment of contact. And all that does is really helps you with your timing, right? We know that if we've got good enough stroke technique and our timing is consistently good, wow, it's pretty tough to miss. And if you do the initial message today, which is you eliminate the baseline as an obstacle, right? And just have some swing freedom. Now, don't mistake when I say swing freedom, I'm not saying hit the ball as hard as you frickin' can. Of course, I'm not saying that, right? I'm saying freedom, swing freedom, not trying to hit a home run, right? All that we're trying to do is relax the grip enough to where it's almost like we don't really have control as we go through the ball. We're allowing it to go through. All right, I've gone way over. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Appreciate it. And look, I love the interaction here. Rich and Owen and Joe, man, thanks for contributing to today. Would love to see that more often. Guys, quick reminder, down in the description area, there's a link that will take you to my 20-minute top spin second serve course to help you get more swing freedom, right? Help you get more racket head speed, help you get more power and a much higher quality spin to control that power, help you almost eliminate double faults. Would never say forever, but really a big reduction in double faults. But the best thing is you start to get that nice high bounce out of the service box over there, which, I mean, look, you got to assume that the thing's coming back. That's okay. That's okay. And you'll just take it from there. Thank you, Dick Johnson. All right, guys, it's time. Get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, I'll see you again tomorrow.